so fucking precious when you smile. Hit it from the back and drive you.
We hit 400 subs. Yay! Wubba lubba dub dub. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fandom Pop. You are watching the greatest channel on YouTube, and on this channel, on this particular month, we have an entire month dedicated to your favorite boys, Rick and Morty. Not only am I pumping out a bunch of videos, but I'm doing a video about every single episode that comes out for this new season, all 5 episodes of them. But that's not going to stop me from giving you guys more Rick and Morty video content, so here I am. Today's episode was called The Old Man and the Seat. Brush up on your classic literature if you don't get that reference. Let's talk about this episode. This is the second episode, and after the first episode was pretty bad, it was pretty much ruined by Summer, so this episode really had to step it up after she ruined the season 4 premiere. And I gotta say, this was a good episode. It definitely wasn't the biggest episode. This is definitely one of those episodes that kind of just feels like there's a bunch of different little subplots, not like a big meaty plot, but we'll get into that. Just started off at the dinner table. This entire episode basically revolves around 2 moments that happen at the dinner table. Summer has a one-off joke about Rick that he leaves the table, and whenever he leaves the table without Morty, he's gonna take a poo, and he has a little special poo spot that's just for him. And also, there's this little alien guy that shows up to the table, and on his forehead is a tattoo that says, "Don't let me develop an app," or something along the lines of that. And you can guess that once he has a conversation with Jerry, they're gonna develop an app together. Let's start with Rick's adventure. Rick basically is living the American dream. He has a sanctuary. He has an oasis for taking his shits. When he takes a load off, he takes it all off, man. He's in paradise. He's in shitting wonderland, and he notices something's a little bit off about his haven. He notices a stick on the ground has been stepped upon. And he does the math. He's very OCD about his specimens. He's like, was it a wild animal? What was it? No. Someone went to his sanctuary and shit in his toilet. So basically, the entire episode, he's just tracking down who shit in his toilet. So this involves him going down a rabbit hole, going into war zones, trying to find the right person to shit in his toilet. And once he finds him, turns out this guy is actually pretty cool. He and Rick become pretty good buddies, actually. Rick's trying to kill him, but then he sees himself a little bit. You know, this guy's like, hey, my wife died. I don't really give a shit if you kill me. Go ahead and do it. I shit in your toilet. I'm owning it. He gets into Rick's core. He's like, I know that you think you control everything. You think you can control where you shit, and you have that to yourself. Well, you don't. I'll shit in your toilet and there's nothing you can do about it. And that kind of like, Rick gets a little bit of respect for him. And like all of his other friends, all of his gearheads and all the birdmen out there, as much as he loves and respects these guys, he's also like competing with them. It's a very manly, bro-ish fuck you thing that they got going on. So he puts them in a chamber of people who he won't kill, but he doesn't want them in his life. That is the most Rick thing to ever have. And instead of killing him, there's like a part where I guess he like shits on his table in like the most elaborate way possible. Like the shit. I told myself that I would not say some stupid shit. Oh god, I just realized the pun I created. Basically, this alien dude ends up offing himself, and Rick feels very bad about it. He goes to shit on his wonder toilet, expecting his alien buddy to be sitting on it, but he sits on it himself, and look, do you know, he had a whole little parade, this whole mockery thing, this like crown pops up out of the toilet and dunks it on his head, and it's like king of shit, and it's the funniest moment. He's just sitting there, just living it up, realizing, hey, and that's the thing about Rick, like we ourselves feel mortal, but Rick is a practical immortal compared to our eyes, who realizes his mortality and the fact that he can't even control where he shits, and that drives him crazy. Let's talk about what all the other characters were doing in this episode. Basically, Jerry develops an app with this alien dude. It's a dating app that will like perfectly find your exact match, and then you'll fall in love. But the thing is, the app is rigged because our minds are so feudling and so sporadic, and then love is this never-ending quantity. They just keep falling in love over and over again. They just keep checking the app or something. I don't know. And meanwhile, the alien behind all this, his overlord, is just trying to get like all the water on the planet. Like, it's weird. It's kind of just used for a gag, and they don't really like. I expected them to have like this weird proficient thing to say about love, and kind of like how, you know, it's a chemical, and like sometimes it fleets and then we like will drift somewhere else. Like, I expected some kind of profound thing about that, but no, it just kind of shits all over the idea of love a little bit. Oh, and then Summer gets really hooked on the app, and she finds this douchebag that she falls in love with, and then she just gets caught in the whirlwind of dudes and other people just falling all over each other. The whole world is in chaos, as it typically is within Rick and Morty. And basically Beth is like, I'm gonna parent the shit out of you. I will find every douchebag you fall in love with and beat their ass. And they basically do that for the rest of the episode until the app gets destroyed, because Jerry and Morty get held hostage by the little alien dude, the little intern dude, and he bonded with Jerry enough for them to destroy the app. My cat's in the background. Y'all want to see my cat? You want to do something cute for the camera? That will suffice. And that was basically everything that happened in this episode. I told myself that these videos wouldn't just be me telling you the plot of everything that happened. I actually want to give you my own thoughts and analysis, and like kind of break down the episode in a little bit of ways. I do think that there were some like good character shit, like the little image of Rick sitting on his crown of shit. I kind of already talked about that, but like that was good. That was good. Like, that kind of described Rick at his core to a really good value. That being said, Beth like kind of looking like Mother of the Year, especially because we know she likes Summer more. Yeah, that's kind of like her biggest characteristic, is she's a good mom at the end of the day, especially to Summer. Like, when Summer gets Gigantamaxed in that one episode, she's right there for her. Her and Summer are clicked. And Jerry, I complained about the last episode that they kind of like demorphed a lot of his like growth that was in season 3. Like, season 3 had a lot of really good like Jerry moments. I'm thinking like of that specific scene where Rick's like basically like, hey, I forced myself into your marriage and made things complicated, and that's not really my place, and I'm sorry. And then we get to this season, it's kind of just back to usual. I will say he had a lot more funny moments. Like, it's not just, oh, he said Akira, ha 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 ha. No, there's actually some good gags in this one, and like, he's dumb as shit as he usually is, but like, there's just this smugness that I love about Jerry, and they capture that in this episode. But was this as good as the season premiere? No. Like, the season premiere, you know, the first and last episodes, they always go hard for those, and sometimes the ones in the middle just are good episodes. They're just not as good. I will say that this episode was really good. Wasn't great. Like I said, a lot of the concepts like that they had like with this dating app, I didn't feel like they fully completed that arc. And it at some point just felt like they were like throwing a lot of things into a pot that like wasn't fully cooked by the end of it. Like, I don't mind having a bunch of subplots and a bunch of ideas. I complimented the last episode how it kind of successfully did that. But with this episode, I was just kind of like, okay, every character's doing their own thing, and then by the end of it, you're just kind of like, eh. Like, the after credits scene for this one just wasn't as funny. The Rick toilet gag was probably my favorite part of the episode, but like, I wouldn't base a whole episode around that. That should have been like the minor plot to a much better thing. Like, this was a great episode. If this was like on a normal TV show, this would have been a great episode. But Rick and Morty is like the type of show where each episode adds something to the universe. There's a Mr. Meeseeks added. There's a evil Morty. There's like something big. There's like a big meme. There's a big something in every episode. I don't think this episode had anything that would be like, oh yeah, there's no like show me what you've got. There's none of that. This episode just kind of coast off its pretty good jokes, and yeah, I liked it. I'm just a spoiled Rick and Morty fanboy. I don't know what to say. But not every episode is going to be great. Not every analysis is going to be like super fully in depth, because I don't have as much to talk about because the episode just wasn't as great. And that's okay. We can't expect the world to be perfect. All I want in this universe is to be able to shit in privacy. I'm with you there, Rick. I can't shit in public on those public toilet seats surrounded by people. Fuck that. So let me know down in the comments, where do you like to poo? Do you like to kind of do it in your own sanctuary? Do you light the candles, or what do you do? What is your ritual before you poo? Can you poo in public? You're like a fucking animal, you monsters. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, with that, I leave you. Bloop.
Just have fun, do what I do and go with the flow. Go with the flow. Just have fun, do what I do and go with the flow.